What's up,
Uh,
Opulence?
my question is just that I get the leads and I send out those emails following up being like, "Oh, I see you want to book me." And nobody has ever responded to me. So I just want some insight if you had on
Mhm.
how I can improve that messaging with those leads.
Yeah, great question. Are you using the template we've shared, your own? Tell me a little bit about the email itself you're sending.
Oh my gosh, I feel a little embarrassed. I must have missed the template. I don't have the pro version, so I think that's probably
That
where.
yeah, so no worries. I can give you some tips, right? So I'll give you a couple of tips on doing the follow up. One is a philosophical approach, and then the second is a practical approach, right? So philosophically, let's say I, Arel Moodie, I'm like, yo, I book speakers. I'd like to book you, Opulence, right? But I may not have an event coming up until March 2024 or October 2024. So even though I've expressed that I want to book you, your main objective is to find out, is this a right now thing or a eventually thing? Right. So that's the first philosophical thing, right? So you got to imagine booking a booking lead. A lot of it is timing, right? It's right place, right time. So what you should not assume is every single one of your booking leads is throwing an event in November and they don't have a speaker and they're freaking out and they need to book you. Does that happen? 100%. I literally just got a message for a speaking opportunity for like, oh, I think it's not gonna. There's no way the event's gonna happen. But they wanted me to do a professional development in like 2 weeks, and that almost never happens. Typically, it's a month out minimum. If people are freaking out, if it's 2 weeks out, that means something went really wrong. So your first thing is to just say, "Hey, thanks so much for reaching out. I noticed that you acknowledged that you might be interested in booking. Love to jump on a call to find out." So again, it also is part of your deal flow. So do you want to jump on a call with everyone? Some people don't. So you could say, do you have an event coming up that you want to discuss now? Or is this something that you'd like to discuss later? Let me know which one is best, right? You can kind of give like optionality there. Now, people will respond in a few ways. The first way is they will ignore you, right? The second way is they will respond and say, eventually, reach out like later, or they'll be like, yeah, let's jump on a call. Now, if they ignore you, we recommend a 5-step email sequence for everyone before you assume the lead is not hot anymore. The reason why a 5 email sequence is so important is because uh, don't show me your email account, Opulence, but I imagine if I went to your email right now, how many new emails do you get per day, roughly? So many, right? So many. So what typically happens is, yes, I might be interested in booking you to speak, but you know what? You're not on the top of my to-do list because I was away at an event to see you speak. So when I'm away at an event to see you speak, what happens when I come back to my workplace? Well, I got to catch up on everything that I didn't do because I was on the workplace, everything that came in. So I think what happens for a lot of us is they go, hey, but you said you were booking me to speak. Why aren't we jumping on the phone right now? It has nothing to do with their interest or relationship with you. It's simply because that's a important thing, but not an urgent thing. Have you ever heard the Eisenhower matrix? It's important and urgent, right? So there's important, there's urgent. So when it's urgent, people like to reach out. By the way, I ain't gonna call out anyone on this call because I don't know if anyone on this call falls into this category. But how many of y'all signed up for your Talkadot account because you had a speech like tomorrow? And you were like, oh Lord, I've been hearing about Talkadot. Let me get Talkadot right now. Hey Mike, could you jump on a call and get me set up with my account real quick? Like, because it's an urgent issue. It's important that your talk is coming up, but you're like, that's 3 weeks from now. That's 4 weeks from now. I got time. But when it's urgent, we got to do it right now. So that's one philosophical thing, right? Is simply some people are getting caught up. So that's why I recommend doing 5-step email. What does a 5-step email sequence look like? First email is very simple. Hey, it's Opulence. Thank you so much for attending my session. I was looking through my data and I saw that you indicated you wanted to book me to speak. Is that something that is urgent? We need to jump on a phone right now for, or is that something that eventually in the future will turn up, right? And you just want to find out where they are. So they're going to respond or not respond. If they don't respond, you basically go to that email, hit reply, and go, hey, just want to confirm you got my previous email. Let me know what you think about my email below. They don't respond after like 2-3 days. You go back to that email, hit reply, and say, hey, I know life can be real hectic and real busy. I'm not sure if my email hit the top of your inbox. Let me know if what you think, right? Then you do 4th email. Hey, sent you a couple of emails, haven't heard from you. Last thing I'd want to do is ever bother you. So let me know if this is something you want to talk about. Because I would hate to bother you, something like that. And then fifth email is what's called the breakup email in the biz. Hey, I've reached out to you 4 times. Typically when I reach out to somebody, 4 times they don't respond, either A, they're really, really busy and they really want to get back to me, but they've been busy, or B, they're not interested and I just hope I go away. I would never want to bother you. So let me know which one it is. If not, I won't be reaching out to you about this anymore. You're kind of like taking it away a little bit. So people were really interested. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I've been so busy. I got blah, blah, blah. My kid was sick and they had their tonsils removed and there was so many soccer games. Please forgive me, is typically what happens. Or they'll be like, nah, and they ignore you. Now, if you use something like mailtrack.io or Yesware for Gmail or any of these various email tools, you can actually track if people have opened your email. Now, if I send 4 emails and they've never been opened and I go to my track and they haven't been opened, I assume my email is going to spam. It's been like shifted. So they've never seen it. If they've opened my email 4 times and not responded, then I'm like, okay, what's up, buddy? What's going on? And then at that point, if they don't respond after the 5th email, they go on to my newsletter where basically every, so I don't have a normal cadence. I probably should. Like if I was smarter, I would probably do something every week, every month, but I send emails out to my list when I feel emotionally moved to, and I go, here's some valuable piece of content. And then at the bottom of that email newsletter, I go, if you're interested in a speaker, click here to jump on our calendar to talk more. And then I just play the long game with those people. So my mindset is always, you're going to book me now or you're going to book me later, but you're going to book me, right? Like if you're booking speakers and you know who I am, it's just a matter of right time, right fit. And sometimes people book me 6 years in the future. Sometimes they book me 6 weeks in the future. But as long as you have, might I say, that abundance mindset, it'll eventually log in and you'll be good. So I just killed a fly with a sledgehammer with that answer, but I hope it was thorough. And there is a replay. I think someone asked about that. And if you have any questions about that, happy to help support. All good to go? Thanks, Opulence.